Hello everyone and welcome to another Deviant.fun's flash review, and today we're bringing you a very distinct book called Onward Towards Our Noble Deaths by Shigeru Mizuki. This was in fact the first English translated book from the master Shigeru Mizuki, which has passed away in 2015. Here's a photograph of him. He started the yokai genre. Yokai, you can translate it to ghoul in English. And he was also one of the founders of Gekiga, which is dramatic manga, which is what this book is can be classified as. So, Onward Towards Our Noble Deaths, it's an anti-war book, which describes the experience of the Japanese during the war, but in a very, sometimes even bitter funny way. So it's a 1973 manga, can you believe that? Which explores with crystalline irony the absurdities of life during wartime. This is a powerful, maddening, and at times bitterly funny, like I said, war story. A revealing look at World War II from the opposite side. So you won't see much combat or something like that. It will be focused on the emotions of the soldiers, the confusion, the lack of orientation across the chain of command, the decisions that were made just purely based on almost random. So Shigeru Mizuki's time in the Imperial Army in World War II. This is a memory, but fictionalized memoir of the time he spent in the Imperial Army, where he lost an arm for real. Set against the tropical island backdrop of the South Pacific, the story explores the camaraderie of the troops, dealing not only with the nightmarish realities of war like hunger, disease, death, but also the devastating consequences of the Gyukusai dictate of the Imperial Army, that one must die for one's country at all costs, if not in battle, then by suicide, and you will see that in the book. It balances humor and horror, realism and cartooning. Mizuki deftly addresses and critiques the moral depravity of war, and yeah, everything that is said here is true. So let's take a look. So Mizuki had a very funny way of drawing. Like it said there in the summary, you'll see highly detailed graphic representations mixed with cartoonish representations, especially the faces. If you look at the faces, they're really cartoonish. But suddenly there's a field with dead corpses, and it's hyper realistic, or the tanks and the naval, like for example these fighting ships. They're incredibly detailed, but for the most it's very cartoonish like. As you can see, you'll see officers constantly slapping their officers, well, not officers, cadets, or whatever you call it when you're a rookie. And so they're stationed in a little island near to Australia, what is now, I think it's Papua New Guinea. Papua Nova Guinea in Portuguese. I'm not sure how to say it in English. And they're a small force. By the time the book ends, they're only 80. And they're well, they're trying to defend the island, but they fail redundantly in every aspect. And we'll see them doing their chores, no matter what the weather, no matter what, scavenging for food. They even eat raw potatoes. There are accidents that result in death, lots of disease. They have no conditions at all. They only have their rifles and with their bayonets, and that's mostly it. And you will follow their day-to-day. You'll see the discussions between the ranking officers and how absurd they sometimes are. You'll see the routines, for example, the bathing routine, and there will be some humor in there. Yeah, but the whole chain of command is completely crazy. Of course, this is satirized, but still, it has some truth in it. They're constantly being bombarded from the air. Naval forces are dropping troops in the field. And they're always talking about, let's do a suicide assault and things like that. And of course, no soldier can understand why the hell are we going to do a suicide assault against a superior foe, both in numbers and technology. Are we going to roll ourselves against tanks and heavy machinery, machine gun, and with air support? But they're told to, and they're supposed to. So there will be lots of deaths here, but that's not the focus of the book. It's really seeing the interactions between the soldiers and the weird situations, like it said, the bitter comedy situations that are abundant here. But yeah, you see the realistic mixed with the cartoon. That's a signature by Miyazaki. Am I saying your name correctly? No, Mizuki. Sorry. Of course, there's people going crazy and everything like that. Let me see if I can see anything more worth noting. Yeah, I think that's about it. It is a very, very good read. I enjoyed it a lot. Sometimes the soldiers are singing. There will be some panels, them singing songs. Yeah, to try to put up the morale. There are also prostitutes that they can use, for lack of better word, and they line up for it. Yeah, it's really a very different approach on war comics. You see here the tanks rolling out into the shore. Actually, they're not tanks. There's those boats that carry soldiers inside, protected by steel plates. Of course, the book does not end well for the company, but that's evident from the beginning of the book, because they don't really know what they're doing. They don't have the means. They just they have their cry for everything for our country, and even if it makes sense or not, they'll do it. Yeah, so that's why it's an anti-war book. It tries to show, based on Shigeru Mizuki's memoirs, how the troops were really feeling behind the shootings and combats, what was really happening, how was their daily life. So I really recommend this book. It's hard to convey what I felt reading the book. It's one of those books that you really have to read it to understand it. It's really hard. Unless I can only say that I really recommend this. I was very surprised, especially because it's a 1973 book, so it's a dated one, right? But it reads so fresh. War is still a very up-to-date matter, unfortunately, and all wars share the same bad stuff. So it will never go and seem like washed out. This book will still be relevant in many years, unfortunately. So Shigeru Mizuki, if you don't know him, I didn't know him. He was one of the creators of the manga movement. So big respect to this sir. Yeah, it was good if he was still alive, but yeah, he's not for 10 years now. Okay, Onward Towards Our Noble Deaths. Take a peek. If you want to buy it with us, just go to Deviant.fun.biz and you can find it there. We ship to all EU. If you like this kind of videos with reviews and live-throughs and etc., why not hit the like button, subscribing the channel so that you are notified every time a new video drops in, and we do a lot of videos. Yeah. So thank you for watching. Hope I have put some spark of interest in you about this book, and see you in our next video. So Deviant Fun out in 3, 2, 1. Bye bye.